Hey, what words are you saying? Who will tell me? So tell me, what were the words? Yeah, so you tell me. You speak in the mic.
We are using Kyerematen, Nanado, and John Echekumku.
So give us a cappella. What else? So sing it, let's see. Give us an acapella without the sound. Yeah? And we'll be without this one, just a little bit.
1, 2, 3. Kyerematen, Jekufo, Nanado Danko Ayebiko, Eduba Omia, Eso, Se Obeyebi, Ediatua.
Oh, I see. Let's hear it again. Wait, drama.
Kyerematen, Jekufo, Nanado Danko Ayebiko, Eduba Omia, Eso.
Okay. Let me take my seat and formally introduce people to the show. You heard the song, Kyerematen Jekufo, Nanado Danko Onyina Yebiko, Eduba Umiaso. So we'll get the more of the song later on tonight, and later tonight we have other songs coming on. But what is story for tonight? I mean, we've been through this many times where we set up our program, we decided what we want to do, and then boom, a story comes, and we are a news broadcast channel. We are a news current affairs program, so that then takes center stage. I spoke to the choir to come and do something completely different because we're going to have a story about the coups in West Africa, which we will still do on Thursday. But then came Kyerematen's statement that we definitely needed to treat. And so they changed the nature of the song. 25 minutes past 9 o'clock. I have to say good evening. Welcome to another exclusive edition of Good Evening Ghana. And that's going to be very interesting tonight. Our first story is the unfortunate news about Kyerematen. I'll just go to the touch screen and start that. Well, unfortunate for the New Patriotic Party and its cohorts because it's a big matter. We're going to look at the historical antecedents of some of these things that have happened in the politics of Ghana. And we're going to thoroughly read Kyerematen's statement and make a sense of what he's trying to say, and also make some guesses of what he says is the future. Everyone who knows me knows that I thoroughly love Kyerematen, and it's not a great feeling, isn't it? It's not a great feeling tonight when the maestro of trade, the representative of the New Patriotic Party in trade since the early 2000s, and he picks up a statement. Earlier today, we had been monitoring. In fact, I have to give credit to my producer, Preku. He called me yesterday a few times. I didn't pick up because I was still concerned about the goal that Garnacho scored that was ruled offside. I couldn't believe it. I was still worried about it. And I hope George Ado Jr. and Ibrahim Zebila will join me later on tonight in this program to sort of have a look at it. Sorry, my tie is crooked. Okay, it's still crooked, but I'll sort it out later. So he was calling me, and then I picked up the phone and I said, "What's the matter?" And he said, boss, I'm in Kumasi for the moot court. I said, okay, that's good. He said, but I'm hearing something. I said, what are you hearing? He said, I'm hearing that Kyerematen may step away from the contest. I said, is it authentic? Let me check. So I started calling a few people. And then today, one of those people I called sent me the invitation for Kyerematen's press encounter at the Moving Pick Ambassador Hotel. And was it Kimpiski or Moving? I can't remember. I think it's one of them. Were you saying something? Ambassador Hotel, yeah. So I was right about that. And so I sent it back to Kweku and said, Kyerematen is going to have an event, so I don't think he's resigning. And he said, oh yeah, he agrees with me. The person's not going to resign by holding a press conference. He's just going to indicate. Okay. Then a few hours later, Kweku sent me back the thing and said, boss, the press conference has been cancelled. So I kept calling people who know Alan, and I wasn't getting a clear response. I asked one of them that, is he stepping out? He says, oh, you wait, what time does your program start? I said, the program starts at 9. So by that time, you have a fair idea of what is happening. So I began to feel that this is the real story, that John Kojo Kyerematen, our beloved trade minister, was going to step aside from the contest. We have a lot to say about that today, but I want to teach you a Ghana song. Typically, I don't know how to sing very well, but I'll try. It's a Ghana war song, you see, and I can feel that some of the Kyerematen supporters who are very unhappy with the processes in the New Patriotic Party, and they have a right to be unhappy with what they are unhappy with. Whilst I have to congratulate Nana Komia for the way in which he spoke on Joy FM this evening. Nana Komia is a great communicator. He spoke so excellently well. The way he speaks is a way that can bring any political party together. Congratulations, Nana Komia. You spoke so well, and that's good work. I'm going to do this this editorial in the spirit of the way Nana Komia spoke. Okay, so the Ghana song, I was thinking about how are Alan supporters feeling by now. They are quite upset with the entire process, and those who were silent supporters of Alan who have heard this also. So this is a Ghana war song. We used to sing it in Labadi and in secondary school. Those of us who went to school in Accra, when we were playing football, we intimidate people by that. And Neil Ante van der Poel, the member of parliament for Dododio, sang it as well in 2020 elections when his back was against the wall. And it's a song that you sing, it's a warrior song. Okay, so much of it. It goes like this. Forgive my voice and the rhythm, yeah? Rosamachi is laughing at me because he's a music expert. Okay, so it goes as follows. Kono yemi, kemole, kono yemi, kemole, kajewane, abagboe, kajewane, abagboe, kono yemi, kemole, kono yemi, kemole, kajewane, abagboe, kajewane, abagboe. It means if you have a relative, a friend in the saddle, warn him. That's what our land supporters are telling you. Warn whoever is coming to speak against us. Warn him. If you have any friend in the saddle, warn him. Statements must be measured. If it comes against us, Alan people, you are warned. Okay, so that's Kono Yemi Kemole. And then Kajewane is that don't challenge this. Don't challenge this process because people may die. Kajewane. Abagboe. Kajewane. Abagboe. Okay, that's the end of that. I'm going to do the story according to what we know. And then we will let the choir play a song for Alan Kyerematen tonight. Then they will play another song for Dr. Baumia. And I'm going to recommend this book to all politicians who are serious about winning something. It's a very important book. It's a book that is written by Cicero, or those who call him Cicero, but his name is pronounced Cicero. He's a Roman philosopher, and he wrote a book entitled How to Win an Election. I've been reading it for a while. Which camera am I showing it to? Okay, yes. How to win an election. This is a book by Cicero. It's been in my library for a very long time. I bought it from the SOAS library many years ago. How to Win an Election. And I'm recommending this book to all the young politicians who believe that they have to win election. A bit of this book is referred to by Kenton Apiaminka when he talks about how MPP elects their people. And we're going to refer into it tonight. Okay. Without much ado, good evening. Welcome to the show. Now let's get to the story. Alan Kyerematen withdraws from the MPP flag bearership race. And I have to say that later on, after we have done the story, and after we have heard the Alan Kyerematen song part of it, Dodu is here, the visually impaired historian, who has said a lot about the Alan Kyerematen campaign. Some of the Alan Kyerematen supporters have not liked some of the things he said. They've met me and told me that this is your guy. We don't like some of the things he said. I know that. But I'm going to take him again tonight to explain from his angle, because he didn't see this coming. I didn't see this coming. I was told by my director, Kweku, yesterday that it was coming. Once today's events changed with an invitation for a press conference, we suspected that it's not coming, but eventually it's come. So we're going to ask Dodu to analyze it. And we have heard what Nana Komia has said about it. Tonight is not a very interesting night for the New Patriotic Party because one of their trade colossus, Alan Kyerematen, has stepped out of the race, citing. That's the problem. Boache Jaku stepped out of the race. We didn't say anything. But Alan Kyerematen steps out of the race, and it's because of the things that he's citing. Kwabena Japan gave his statement after he lost the first 5 ballots, and we didn't say much about it. But it's because of the things that Alan Kyerematen's statement contains is the reason why it's become a story. And because also we almost seem to be in a deja vu situation. Did this not happen before in 2008? Yes, it did, and it has happened again. Solomon says something in the Bible. The famous Solomon in Ecclesiastes, he said, what has been is what will be. What has happened is what will happen. For there's nothing new under the sun. perhaps today we are living that again. It's not a very happy moment. It's not a very happy moment. But let's do the story. Okay. On Sunday, the 27th of August, 2023, I issued a public statement which made reference to the selection and shortlisting of presidential aspirants by the Special Electoral College convened by the New Patriotic Party on the 26th of August 2023. After having carefully analyzed the results of the said elections, it is absolutely clear to me from events leading to, during, and after the elections that the Special Delegates Conference was strategically and tactically skewed in favor of one particular aspirant. The pronouncements made by some leading members of our party, both before and after the election, also lend weight to my observations. The level of intimidation of varying intensity directly and indirectly unleashed on a significant number of delegates at various voting centers across the 16 regions is unprecedented in the history of our party. In addition, the fact that my polling agent in the Northeast region has suffered severe damage to his eyesight arising from his bold and courageous efforts to ensure compliance with the very rules and regulations for the conduct of the elections as approved by the Presidential Elections Committee, I will forever remain, that he says, will forever remain a dark spot in the history of internal elections within the party. This incident and various acts of violence and collusion reported in other voting centers are appalling and unconscionable and despicable. I am committed to and value the safety of those who work with me and for me, and I will always fight for their interest. Is that all? Please, is that all the statement? Okay, they're giving me the next page. Sorry. Efforts to ensure compliance with the very rules and fight for their interest. Is that all? No, there's something about the future. There's something about, he says, the future, what he will do. That's not all the statement. Oh, sorry, viewers. That's not all the statement. Maureen, that's not all the statement. Alan Kyerematen goes to talk about in the next few days, he's going to indicate his role in national public life. That's not all the statement. That's not all the statement. Do we have the rest of the statement yet? Do we have it? Ooh, okay, so let me go on with the commentary and see whether... but the statement is always ends by signing. He will say that signed Alan Kyerematen. That's really the end of it. This is not the complete statement. This is just 2 paragraphs. Maybe there's an important part that I can look at whilst they try and get the rest of the statement. He talks about, he levels clear allegations. He says, the level of intimidation of varying intensity. He says, the intimidation on the events in what date was it again? August 30th, was it? Or was it? What date was it? Okay. The level of intimidation of varying intensity, directly and indirectly, unleashed on a significant number of delegates at various voting centers across the 16 regions is unprecedented in the history of our party. In addition, Alan Kyerematen says the fact that my polling agent in the Northeast region has suffered severe damage. Yes, we know that. We know that about Alan Kyerematen's agent who is said to have suffered severe damage. What were you saying? Telling me something? Okay, I said they're working on the complete statement. Meanwhile, they should put up the old resignation. Let's look at it, and then we come to BJ Darocha. So we are giving you a chronological presentation of this. We'll look at Kwabena Japon's statement. We'll look at the results of the elections. And in looking at the results, we're going to show that Alan Kyerematen's performance since 2007, gives a certain indication of his relationship between himself, his campaign, and his ambition to lead the party, and the idea of polling station delegates, relating really to only Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo because he was the principal opponent. But then we move forward. I blame one person for this matter, and I know who I'm talking about. I'm going to mention his name. The person that I blame in this circumstance is Kennedy Japan. If Kennedy Japan had not defeated Alan Kyerematen in this one, and when I say defeated, it means he did better than him. If Kennedy Japan had not defeated Alan, I'm sure we will not be where we are. It is the situation of Kennedy Japan coming second, which surprised many of us, except maybe my visually impaired historian and a few other analysts. The Kennedy Japan adventure, which put Alan at number 3 instead of an obvious number 2. In fact, Alan started this race as number 1. by 2017, when Akufo-Addo had taken the oath of office, the minds of the people, I believe, was on Alan. Somehow that kept changing and changing in 18, 19, 20, kept changing until the vote was taken by just the super delegates, which ordinarily should not be any indication. But from what we are hearing from the NPP, as Kwabena Japan said, and we'll be looking at it, Kwabena Japan said the party has spoken and not much is going to change in the main election. So perhaps I blame Kennedy Japan for this because he worked so hard and took a second position from Alan Kyerematen, who was the authentic first or second. And in all the analysis, all the conversations has been about Bawumia and Alan Kyerematen, Bawumia and Alan Kyerematen, Bawumia and Alan Kyerematen. And now, what do we see? We see that Kennedy Japan has come second. I think that is the problem here. That is part of the reason why the Kyerematen campaign is beginning to review what they want to do and how they want to go forward with it. Somebody said on radio that it is going to be very difficult for Alan to win this contest, and perhaps that's a face-saving measure. I don't know whether it's a face-saving measure. Let's just pick up this historical resignation, and then we may come to the choir to do one stanza for us whilst we get the documentation ready. All right. It's as follows, and this is 2007, I believe. It says, I have monitored extensively media reportage and discussions. This is Alan Kyerematen speaking in 2007. That's why we use a photograph of that time. As you see, Alan has been a beautiful man from that time until now. But this is what he said in 2007. And we'll go also and show you what one of the party stalwarts, B.J. Darocha, recounted. What B.J. Darocha recounted about the resignation of Alan Kyerematen in 2008 after the 2007 context in December. This is what he said. I have monitored extensively media reportage and discussions within the past week. Following my decision to resign from the New Patriotic Party, it is clear that there is a calculated attempt emanating from certain quarters to create public disaffection against me for taking a decision on principles and to create the impression that I am vacillating on my decision to resign, thereby displaying inconsistencies in thoughts and judgment. I wish to state categorically that I have not rescinded my decision to resign from the party. The statement further read, we must also not lose sight of the fact that national interest is superior to the interest of any single party. In this regard, I will soon give a firm indication of the role that I expect to play in the political landscape of the country. This is the continuation of the statement of today. But then it's very similar to what he said today. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Please, can you mic Maureen? Can you mic Maureen? Let's come and explain. Because I believe I'm reading 2007, but what I have read already today is very similar. So they'll produce that and then we can see the similarities. It's much more similar than we thought. We were putting up a story that shows a certain similarity. I didn't know that we have such a striking similarity here. So let me confirm that what I'm reading is from 2008, April 2008. If Dodu is here, please make him up. He is ready to come on. He will give us more details. So it says, I have monitored extensively media reportage and discussions within the past week. Following my decision to resign from the New Patriotic Party, it is clear that there is a calculated attempt emanating from certain quarters to create public disaffection against me for taking a decision on principles and to create the impression that I am vacillating on my decision to resign, thereby creating inconsistency. It says here, we must also not lose sight of the fact that national interest is... Have you mic there? Okay. So what is this?
This is what he said when he resigned from the NPP 2007. And it's quite similar to...
It's 2008 actually. It's April 2008.
Yes, and it's quite similar to what he posted out today when he withdrew from the race. And I think the graphics team, they're getting the final part of his statement today, but it's really similar. And so I think you'd realize that it shows that he has one communication and he has one voice and he wants to talk about the same thing. But we really need to analyze the final part where he talks about how he has aspirations for the other, aspirants in the race still. And now he hopes that the electoral process will be free from any collusion that he stated in his letter.
Okay, so let's read. It says, I will soon give a firm indication. He said the same thing today.
Yes, the same thing.
Almost the same wording.
Yes, almost.
I will soon give a firm indication of the role that I expect to play in the political landscape of the country. Yes. This, he says, I believe will bring hope and confidence to all Ghanaians, irrespective of the political or religious affiliation or ethnic background. He said it then. Yes. Religious affiliation or ethnic background. And he said it again today.
Yes.
Okay, let's wait for the today one and get it. This is getting very interesting. But let's get the point of 2007. In 2007, Alan Kyerematen was clearly the establishment candidate. There's no doubt about that. I covered that election. Many journalists who are around covered that election. Alan Kyerematen was the establishment candidate. John Agyekum for the president of Ghana at the time, was thought to be supporting Alan Kyerematen. If you think that Mr. Kufuor's support for Alan Kyerematen was subtle or is not verifiable, you cannot say the same for Wɔfa Kojo-Mpianim. Wɔfa Kojo-Mpianim was a staunch Alan supporter working as the chief of staff at the office of the president. There was absolutely no doubt about the fact that Kojo-Mpianim was pushing the Alan Kyerematen agenda. Nobody found anything wrong with it. People talked about it, but nobody found anything wrong with it. The Akufo-Addo campaign continued to run their campaign the way they were running it, and eventually they won the race. True that Alan had to step out from the second round for Akufo-Addo to win. True also that Akufo-Addo became president and made Alan minister twice, something that he was not obliged to do. Akufo-Addo was not under any obligation to make Alan minister of trade. Alan Kyerematen was the first minister mentioned by Akufo-Addo even before the vet, and I think even before the swearing in. Before Akufo-Addo was sworn in as president of Ghana on 7 January 2017, he had already met the business community and told them that Alan Kyerematen was going to be the trade minister. Akufo-Addo said that clearly. So I've seen comments about Akufo-Addo has backstabbed Alan because Alan gave him the prize, and I've seen that. It doesn't add up. That is, Alan Kyerematen was the establishment candidate. Kojo-Mpianim made no qualms about supporting Alan Kyerematen. There's no problem with that. But as establishment candidate, he complained about the process. And we're now going to look at the results of the MPP race from the 2007, which was between Alan Kyerematen and Nana Akufo-Addo. Then we come to 2010, which was again between Alan Kyerematen and Nana Akufo-Addo. Then we come to 2014, which was against again Alan Kyerematen and Nana Akufo-Addo. And then we can establish a trend. But give me the acapella, gentlemen. You have to be my music people. Give me the acapella again, and let's relax with that. Do one, and then so Tarek, you can. No, not yet. Yeah, let's just take the acapella. Tarek, don't do anything. Let's hear you. What's the acapella? Acapella. Yes. Yeah. Text messages. You have to.
Alan Kyerematen, take Kufuor, Nana do down como I biko, edu me wo, yeso, se yeni, edu aso. Alan Kyerematen, take Kufuor, Nana do down como I biko, edu ba wo mia, yeso.
Okay, so we have settled in now, and we will get back to the Alan Kyerematen statement, and you see the comparison. Thank you very much, viewers, for your patience. All right, so this is the continuation. Is that the continuation, my lady? That's a continuation. Excellent. It says, the question I keep asking myself is, how did we get here as a party in the first place, and how far are we prepared to tread on this dangerous path to self-destruction? That's heavy. That is heavy. That's really, really heavy. Alan Kyerematen says, how did we get here as a party in the first place? And how far are we prepared to tread on this dangerous path to self-destruction? Unquote. Regrettably, he says, I am not convinced that the circumstances I have referred to earlier will not persist or even be escalated in the next round of elections, for which balloting is scheduled for Wednesday, 6th of September 2023, which is tomorrow. In the light of the foregoing, I wish to confirm that I am honorably withdrawing from the process that will lead to the presidential primaries to be held on the 4th of November 2023. In the next upcoming weeks, that's what I thought I was reading. That's what I saw, and I thought I was reading something from recent. This is the same line. And please prepare the 2017. Let's get back to that line again in a minute. He says, in the next upcoming weeks, I will provide an indication of the role that I will play in politics in Ghana. After consultations with my family and other well-wishers, various stakeholders and interest groups as well, I wish all other aspirants well as they continue on their journey. I also wish to use this opportunity to express my profound gratitude once again to my family, the Alan for President campaign, A4P campaign team, and all my teaming supporters in Ghana and from around the world who have supported me in diverse ways over the years. Please be assured that the battle is still the Lord's, and that those who wait upon the Lord shall have their strength renewed. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Of course, I am a key admirer of Alan Kyerematen. He says that he's going to consult people who are his well-wishers. And what do we have to tell him, those of us who are his well-wishers? Get ready, music. I'm coming to you for the cappella again. I want viewers to get it. So get ready. We have a message for Alan Kyerematen, those of us who consider ourselves as well-wishers. So give me the first line of the song again. That's our message to Alan Kyerematen. Let it be an a cappella so viewers can hear the words. All right, so give it to us 1 minute and we come back to the screen.
Alan Kyerematen, Chikufu, Nana Dodam Kwamo Yebiko, Eduba Wumia, Eso, Seo Baby, Ediato Aso. Alan Kyerematen, Chikufu, Nana Dodam Kwamo Yebiko, Eduba Wumia, Eso, Seo Baby, Ediato Aso.
Same line, one more.
Alan Kyerematen, Chikufu, Nana Dodam Kwamo Yebiko, Eduba Wumia, Eso, Seo Baby, Ediato Aso. Somandeya, be free, be was Somandeya, be free, Yanara, Yebra, Yeriboy, another say, oh my,
All right. So that's the song Alan Kyerematen, J. Kufuor, Nanado Dankwa, Omaye Biko, Eduba Omia, so set on Nusu Beye Nidie, Oman Beye ya, Nefri Meneo, Oman Beye ya, na Efri Abrabwa, Yebo. Come back to that again, and we have another song for you tonight. All right, so here's the statement of 2007. The gross similarity, and I use gross in inverted commas, the gross similarity of the statement from my good uncle is what is interesting for us tonight. I have to find time and go and visit Alan Kyerematen very, very soon. you love his company. You love his company. The last time he came here for an interview, we sat here and talked and talked and talked. You love his company. He has one of the best trade minds in Africa. That's why he almost became WTO boss. There's not a better trade mind that I have engaged than Alan Kojo Kyerematen. He's a good uncle, but at this stage and this evening, the story is not a good story. Let's see what it is, though. He says, this is 2008. He says, I wish to state categorically that I have not rescinded my decision to resign from the party. Okay, we read that already, just not to bore you with time. He says, we must also not lose sight of the fact that national interest is superior to the interest of any single party. In this regard, Alan Kyerematen said, then, I will soon give a firm indication of the role that I expect to play in the political landscape. Well, that role never came, the role that he's expected to play. Following from the resignation and the campaign coming together, I remember Akufo-Addo was one of those who was very, very determined to bring Alan Kyerematen back to the NPP fold when Alan Kyerematen resigned as a result of quarrels over the party. Alan Kyerematen was the establishment candidate, chief of staff, offered clear support to him. He lost the election. He was unhappy with it. Too many things were done. Nana Ohinto is one of the principal supporters of Alan and a man that I deeply respect. Nana Ohinto is a man that I deeply respect, that we all respect in terms of his media capabilities and what he's done to media. He taught at the National School of Communication Studies. Ohinto is a great mind. He's a great guy. He's a man with a very, very young heart. And I'm going to show you what the late B.J. Darocha said about Alan Kyerematen's resignation and the role that Ohinto played to get B.J. Darocha involved. Ohinto at that time was General Secretary of the NPP and a close confidant of Alan Kyerematen till this day. Okay, so this is Alan resigning then and Alan resigning today. All right, just before then, let's take Kwabena Japon's statement so that I can draw a bit of comparison in what I want to do so that you can get the angle. Maureen, if you can put up Kwabena Japon's statement if it's ready, and then we can take the Darocha one. We'll be wrapping up with Alan. When we finish with that, we'll take the song now with the photographs, take a break, and then Dodu will come in and have a conversation with. That is what Kwabena Japan said. He said, Maureen, I hope this is the full statement, by the way. Producer, they should be talking to you. Is that the full statement of Kwabena Japan? I don't want to start reading and it's in the middle. All right. Okay, let's get it down. He says, I am an eternal Democrat, and I believe in majority rule. When the majority decides, said Kwabena Japan. I am disappointed I couldn't make the cut, but I accept the results. The party, the delegates have decided, and as someone who believes in majority rule, that's it. You have to respect the decision of the majority. Viewers, this is getting interesting. So Alan Kyerematen and Kwabena Japan participated in the same process. Alan Kyerematen did better than Kwabena Japan. He got more votes than Kwabena Japan. I've already put on record tonight that Kennedy Japan is the reason why this is happening. Kennedy came in from nowhere and took the second position from Alan. He actually took it from Alan. He didn't take it from Bawumia. He didn't take it from Kwabena Japan. He took the second position from Alan because all the analysis was Bawumia first, Alan second, Alan first, Bawumia second, Bawumia first, Alan second, Alan first, Bawumia second, second, first, second, and then boom, somebody takes the second position. That is the problem. I think that the Alan people have not overcome that shock of somebody, a complete outsider, Kennedy Japan, coming in. We all knew that the top five will be Bawumia or Alan, 1. Alan or Bawumia, 2. Kennedy Japan, 3. For us, it was also Akoto 4, and we're arguing who's going to be the 5. But then comes the day, and the Alan Bawumia has now turned to Kennedy Japan, and I think that's the problem. So Kwabena Japan went through the same process, the same electoral process, former general secretary of the party. Not many people have, if you like, been negatively affected in the NPP than Kwabena Japan. Not many people. And anybody who hears me saying this will agree with me. I mean, Kwabena is my personal mentor and friend, I should say, and I know him very well. Not many people have suffered the way Kwabena Japan has suffered in NPP recently. Whether it's genuine or not, he has gone through quite a bit. Here's a man who won the general secretary elections on clutches. He had an accident in campaigning. He defeated no less a person than Sir John as general secretary of the party. He got suspended from the general secretaryship. He had fights, running battles with people in the party, back and forth. Eventually, in 2020, Akufo-Addo called upon him to come into the campaign. He did. Kwabena continued his running battles. He tried to run for president now. He didn't get any votes. And this is what he says: I am an eternal Democrat, and I believe in majority rule. When the majority decides, the majority decides. I am disappointed I couldn't make the cut, but I accept the results. The party, the delegates have decided. As someone who believes in the majority rule, that is it. You have to respect the decision of the majority. That's his reaction to his defeat. Alan Kyerematen's reaction is very different. But Alan Kyerematen's reaction mimics Alan Kyerematen's reaction of 2007. And that's why we have a song for him that Alan Kyerematen, J.K.4, and Ado Dankwa, Mayebiko, Duba Omiaso. That's why we put that song together. Okay, let me take Kwabena Japan off and now get... he continues and says, I don't believe in looking for excuses because at the end of the day, everybody went and voted for the person they favored. Nobody held anybody's stamp. Whether they were influenced or were given money is neither here nor there. I don't like that. When we have an election, we should accept the results and move on. Fantastic. I asked my producers to also get me what Dr. Dufour said when he was exiting the NDC race. We all remember that. And it was very similar. And that is why the NDC has today appointed Dr. Dufour's son to be part of the Asante Regional Coordinating situation. When the NDC went to Asante, Dr. Dufour was Johnson Asiedu Nkatia, the chairman. And they were working together because Dr. Dufour didn't participate in the race. He was unhappy with a lot of things. But in the end, the kind of statement he put out was very similar to what Kwabena Japan has done. Kwabena says, I don't believe in looking for excuses. You've been defeated in an election. There's no election that's 100%. There's no election that's 100%. There'll be here, there'll be there, there'll be this, there'll be that. Do you think in 2007 in December, Akufo-Addo didn't have anything to say about the process of the election that occurred there at Legon? Do you think Akufo-Addo didn't have anything to say about the national security dominance, the chief of staff, Kojom Pienim, marauding all over the place, insisting that people should vote for Alan? DCs were getting suspended by the administration because they were thought to be Akufo-Addo people. Peter Ala Ajete, the old man, Peter Ajete, former Speaker of Parliament, the old man. I saw him on the grounds. Ajete sat there from up to about 3 a.m. And I was chatting with some of the people and they said, go and ask Peter Ajete whether he wants water. I crawled to his seat and I said, Mr. Speaker, do you want water? He said, oh, no, I'm fine. What is the time? I said, it's about 3:20 a.m. He said, but so all of you journalists have remained here? I said, oh, yes, we have. He said, well, I want to see the counting before I go. Peter Ajete was there. At that time, Peter Ajete has been made pariah because he was an Akufo-Addo supporter. Peter Ajete was not even given a second term as a speaker because he was an Akufo-Addo supporter. Everybody knew that. Akufo-Addo didn't complain about it. He went into the ground, dug deep, and won the election. Alan Kyerematen was the establishment candidate. Nothing happened. Kwabena Japan has suffered in the hands of the MPP. I don't think Alan Kyerematen has suffered more than Kwabena Japan. No. Kwabena Japan has been suspended as a general secretary of the party. And then he's called back to come and assist campaign in 2020. He puts his hand behind him. He says, yes, sir, I shall support your campaign. He stands on the platform and he says, Akufo-Addo has done well, vote for him. The same people around Akufo-Addo who had occasioned, as far as he's concerned, his dismissal from his removal as general secretary, he went to stand on the campaign to campaign for Akufo-Addo again. He comes into the race, he's badly defeated. Yes, there may have been irregularities. It's very, very unfortunate that the Alan Kyerematen's guy in Northeast had his eye. I think the MPP should pay for the cost of the repair of the eye. I think the MPP should offer, if John Kodria is listening to me, General Secretary, I think you guys should pay for that. I don't know what they are doing. I know they are investigating it. I don't know the details. But the MPP should pay for it. It's very, very unfortunate and it is bizarre. Is that a reason why the candidates for which this guy was working will say, I've stepped out? Kyerematen Japan, in the famous showdown, you saw him on the phone. He said, I'm going to give them a showdown. Has he put out statements like that? Kwame Owusu, who is reported by Buntumi to have given the information, says he didn't give the information. Kyerematen Japan has been invited by the party's disciplinary committee. They're going to have a conversation about it. Boachie Ejakun fortunately comes in brackets with Adainimo. The National Council meets and says, okay, we are going this way. Boachie says, I'm not interested. I'm out. He didn't say anything ill about the party. Kwabena Japan says he doesn't like those things where you say people were influenced. Nobody held anybody's stamp to vote. People were influenced by money. People were influenced by a narrative. People were influenced by voices. People were influenced by music. Some people go and vote for people because of music. When Barack Obama was campaigning the other day, there was Kanye West. Did I say Barack Obama? When Donald Trump was campaigning, there was Kanye West. When Barack Obama was campaigning, there was Beyonce and Jay-Z. Some people voted for Barack Obama because Beyonce and Jay-Z supported Barack Obama. There are various reasons why people go and vote. Money is one of them. Is it illegitimate? You answer the question. Some go and vote because of music. Some go and vote because of religion. Some vote because of all sorts of things. That's the point Kwabena Japan is making. That at the end of the day, nobody held anybody's stamp to vote for anybody. If he was influenced by money, you could have influenced him by money too. You could have influenced him by a narrative. People have spent a lot of money and has lost the election. Sir John, remember him? He said, fear delegates. Why? Because he paid delegates and he believed they were going to vote for him. But the delegates on that occasion chose the narrative. I like him because he's handsome. I like Alan Kyerematen because he's handsome. I'm voting for him. You can give me money, I'll still vote for Alan. You can give me a narrative, I'll vote for Alan. I may take Baumia's money, but if Alan's narrative is strong, I'll vote for Alan. That's the point Kwabena Japan is making, that whatever is the reason for an adult to cast his ballot, he cast his ballot on his own. He made that decision on his own. Whatever influenced him is not illegitimate. He decided that this should influence me. That's the point Kwabena is making. He says, I don't believe in looking for excuses, because at the end of the day, everybody went and voted for the person they favored. Nobody held anybody's thumb. Whether they were influenced or were given money is neither here nor there. I don't like that. When we have an election, we should accept the results and move on. Well, not everybody accepts the results. Tonight, Alan Kyerematen is telling us that he doesn't accept the results and he's not moving on the way Kwabena Japan is advocating. Let's do a bit more of historical analysis. We're going to look at the BJ Darocha, but before then, perhaps let's look at the results. If you can put the results up so that we can build it from 2007, because we are doing almost like a discussion on the Alan Kyerematen matter. Later tonight, John Dramani Mahama is asking the judiciary to equalize and asking NDC lawyers to accept positions as judges. We will deal with that. And then, the office of the special prosecutor is being up to some bizarre matters. We will come to that. And the question we'll be asking tonight, office of the special prosecutor, where does he work from? Where is his office? Is it in China? Is it in London? Is it in South Africa? Does he take Ghanaian police to be with him in South Africa to do his work? We'll be asking all of those questions tonight. But here is the results. Okay, so we're going to roll. I hope it rolls continues. Okay, yes. So we're going to deal with the progress of Alan Kyerematen in all of these results. And Kwa, get ready. When I finish that, I'll come back to the capella again. And this time, Tariq, please put the pictures up. And then Dodu should get ready. We will be talking to him very, very soon. Okay. So these are the results. After that, I'll do Nano Hininto, then I'll come to the Kwa. Nano Hininto means the BJ Darocha book. Yeah. Are you asking me to take a break? Why? Oh, no, not yet. Not yet. Okay. Results of the MPP presidential primaries. Yeah. 2007. Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, 47%. Alan Kyerematen, 32.5%. This is what Akufo-Addo was unable to achieve, 50% plus 1. The election should have gone into a second round with 17 other candidates voting. It was very clear that most of the 17 were going to throw their weight behind Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, in particular the former vice president, Alhaji Aliyu Mahama, may he rest in eternal peace. Alhaji Aliyu Mahama had come third. He had indicated that he will throw his weight behind Akufo-Addo. Yaosafo Mafo, I believe, had come fourth. He had indicated that he would throw his weight behind Akufo-Addo. Professor Michael Kwe, Dan Boche, and a few others. Was Dan Boche running? I think so. All those who were second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth were indicating that they were going to support Akufo-Addo. It was almost like a deal that was not going to work. So for Alan. And so Akufo-Addo Alan gave a speech first, a concession speech, and Akufo-Addo became the flag bearer of the party. That was how competitive 2007 was between Alan Kyerematen and Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. Let's move on. And then came 2010 primaries. Alan Kyerematen is no longer the establishment candidate. There's no establishment, actually, because the MPP is in opposition. Akufo-Addo fails to win the election and is defeated by some 25 or so votes. And the MPP is in opposition, so there's no establishment candidate. What happens in the election in the primaries in 2010? Akufo-Addo moves from 47 to 77.92%, almost 78. Alan Kyerematen drops from 32 to 20. So from 27 to 2010, Alan Kyerematen drops in the votes that he commands in the MPP primaries. Let's move on and see what happens next. Okay. Now, what happens next is 2014. Akufo-Addo is now picking up 94%. Alan Kyerematen is now picking up 4.77%. A very serious matter. Now, that is the last time MPP delegates had Alan Kyerematen on the ballot and voted. This is the vote they gave to Alan. 4.77%. In 2014, they gave Alan 4% in 2014. So from 32% in 2007, Alan comes to 20% in 2010, and by 2014, Alan Kyerematen is getting 4.7. Today, in the superdelegates, Alan Kyerematen gets 10 point something percent. And I don't know whether it's a result that's shocking, that's surprising. It's possibly not the same delegates voting in terms of the individuals. Constituency chairman have changed, polling station executive have changed, but there's a new group of people. And the new group of people decide otherwise. And my uncle Alan Kyerematen says that I'm not interested in that. Fair enough. Okay, so these are the results of how it's been. Let's have a bit of the Darocha one. We'll just look at a little bit of it, not so detailed. Let's put out a bit about the Darocha. So let me tell you the story about the Darocha. When Alan Kyerematen resigned, or purported to resign in 2008 from the MPP as a result of what he called, the same kinds of problems he has today. BJ Darocha, a famous elder of the party, former chairman of the National Party, former general secretary of the Progress Party, was asked to intervene. What is the narrative? What is the story? And I have to say thank you to PMC for sending me this first this evening. Okay, it goes as follows. This is Darocha speaking. Mr. Alan Kyerematen's statement has come as a surprise to me. After he had written to the chairman of the party resigning his membership, I, Darocha, was approached through the general secretary of the party, Nana Oheninto, to act as a mediator and see whether he could be persuaded to change his mind. I had 2 meetings with Mr. Kyerematen, both of which the general secretary was present. Both meetings were held in a very cordial atmosphere. I told Mr. Kyerematen that he should not have written a letter of resignation. He stated at length that there were certain fundamental issues which had propelled him to resign, and unless these were addressed, he will stand by his decision to quit. My advice to him was that he should rescind his decision to resign unconditionally, and thereafter, whatever his concerns were could be addressed. He said while he respected my opinion and advice, he could not agree with me. He indicated that in the middle of an election campaign, the party could not find time for to literally arbitrate what he saw as a dispute between him and the party. I suggested to him that many within the party would interpret his action as lack of loyalty and commitment to the party. His response was that if anybody thought so, so be it. This is not good. This is not good. Okay, let's go on. Our second meeting of Tuesday, 23rd April 2008, was closed with a proposal by me that I will report the outcome of our meetings to the National Executive for that body to take a decision whether it would satisfy his conditions for returning to the party or whether it will simply accept his resignation. At the time of our meeting, the national chairman was out of the country, as Mr. Kyerematen was aware of it. It was understood that no public statement should emanate from either of us until I have made my report to the National Executive, which I could submit only after the national chairman had returned. I was surprised, therefore, that Mr. Kyerematen should have issued that sort of statement which he issued yesterday. I feel bound to say a few things about Mr. Kyerematen's behavior in this matter. Firstly, I am not convinced that the matters he complained about are so grave, so earth-shaking, as to make a loyal member of the party quit it summarily and unceremoniously. I told him so. These complaints are like flea bites compared to what many loyal members of the party have suffered and endured in the past without even contemplating leaving the party. That's the point I make about Kwabene Japan. Has Alan Kyerematen suffered in MPP more than Kwabene Japan? That's the point Darocha made 2008, B.J. Darocha, may he rest in peace. I hope that the Lord is keeping his soul well until we meet again in the resurrection. B.J. Darocha, writing in 2008. It is like he's writing today. What B.J. Darocha wrote in 2008, it's like he's writing to, except that the National Chairman of the party has not traveled. He's here, except that anointing is not the General Secretary of the party, is Justin Kodia. That's the only difference. Otherwise, everything B.J. Darocha said is relevant today. And if it is true that this was the trade minister's response, that's unfortunate. He said, if people see it like that, so be it. Okay, enough of that. Secondly, he says, I think it will be a very bad and dangerous precedent for the NPP to allow any member to dictate to the party the terms on which he will continue to be a member. Think Mr. Kyerematen is bluffing the party. Oh, that's what Darocha said. The party should not tolerate such bluff. Thirdly, the concluding part of Mr. Alan Kyerematen's statement is pregnant with meaning. I quote, we must also not lose sight of the fact that national interest is superior to the interest of any single party. In this regard, I will soon give a firm. This is Darocha going back to what Kyerematen said. Darocha continues, says, this I believe will bring hope and confidence to organize. That's still Alan Kyerematen talking. Darocha says the clear import of this passage is that Mr. Kyerematen has in mind a national interest superior to the interest of the NPP. It is also an unequivocal declaration that he has thought for himself a future role in politics outside the NPP. It is obvious that he has no deep roots. I can't go on with the Darocha one. 16 minutes past 10. It's very difficult for me because of my relationship with Alan Kyerematen. I admire him so much. I admire Alan Kyerematen so much. I have so much love for him. He's been a mentor to Rosemary. And I was beside myself with total shock. I said, oh, Alan. Oh, not about anything, but about himself. Because I'll tell you, viewers, I'll tell you today. I'm going to confess, you see. I'm going to confess. I am one of those people who has been whispering to the NPP people I know, can make Alan Kyerematen your running mate. I've told very sensitive people in the NPP that what about Alan Kyerematen being your running mate? I will not mention your name, but Alaji, you know that you and I have had these midnight meetings. Alaji, you know that John Peter Amewu has been part of these conversations. You don't know who Alaji. I'm not talking Alaji Baumia. I have to be clear about it. It's not Alaji Baumia. Alaji knows himself. Alaji Roman Rich. Alaji, we've sat at 2 a.m. and we've talked about this. Alaji is not even political. He's just a businessman. And he's told me that, Paul, if the NPP were to do this election will be interesting. We've had that conversation with John P. Alaji, you know, we were talking about this. Some places I go and as soon as I enter, they said, hey, that's his man. That's Alan Kyerematen's man coming. I said, oh, you people, you have to give the running mate to Alan. They say, we'll never give it to Alan. Oh, I've been in conversations that fight. And somebody will say, Alan Kyerematen is popular. The other one say, he's not popular. He's popular. I don't want you then. So this comes to me as a bit of pain. I have had people calling me, the hawks against Alan. They've called me this evening and said, you see your man? They are laughing at me. So all of this narrative is very difficult to me. But I'm doing it so that the future generation will learn. Because we want to build our politics and build it substantially. Whether it's NDC or MPP, the future politicians must learn that politics, you must have mettle. It's very, very important. That's why I brought this book out, How to Win an Election. It's very, very important. It's written by Cicero, How to Win an Election. And if you can get it and read it, you will see the strands of the things that we are talking about. This is very, very, very unfortunate. Okay, 18 minutes past 10 o'clock. We still have to deal with John Mahama and the special prosecutor. But now, I'll take my seat, let the choir do the song properly. But in the beginning, people must hear it. So you start with an a cappella at the beginning. When you get to the chorus, the drums can come in. Doc, Amachi, if you like that. Let's take that. They'll put some pictures on. In 5 minutes, I will come back with text messages. Break, Dodu, John Mahama, special prosecutor.
Kyerematen, Jekofo, Nana Dodam Kyerematen Jekufu na no dodo kwa moye biko edruba wumia eso se obeyebi ediato aso Somandia every day was Somandia every
Right, so we had another song, and we're going to do that song for Alhaji Muhammadu Baumia right now, so that we end this session, and then Dodu can come. So please prepare Dodu to give us a few words. You remember the other song we had? Let's do the a cappella of it. Kyerematen, the a cappella, so people can hear the words we put in. Oh, good different poem.
Oh yeah, yan kwanchirafo adini na sutofo eradi bawumya yiwaye adini na sutofo yen sitibwa fofa yen kwanchirafo yen dimahu asita bayi jomna midibemahu eradi bawumya yiwaye adini na sutofo yen sitibwa fofa yen kwanchirafo yen dimahu asita bayi jomna midibemahu eradi bawumya yiwaye adini na sutofo yen sitibwa fofa yen kwanchirafo yen dimahu asita bayi jomna midibemahu eradi bawumya yiwaye oh, such a mapi, I can't believe it for you. waya mami no dosu. Oh yeah yeah, what's refu? Adi na susumu. Irani mawumya iwaye. Say we want that shamaki. Akami mizu moye. Trisenya waya mami no dosu. Oh yeah yeah, what's refu? Adi na susumu. Irani mawumya iwaye. Adi na susumu. Yes, it's a wafupa. It was a fupa. Yeni mamu asila. Naye yijumna yenibe mau. Irani mawumya iwaye. Adi na susumu. Yes, it's a wafupa. It was a fupa. Yeni mamu asila. Naye yijumna yenibe mau. Irani mawumya iwaye. Semi won't touch him off him. I'm coming in the tip wire. Three said, yeah, I am a little no student. On the left, what you repo. I didn't know so. Irani mawumya iwaye.
All right. Okay, so that's about it. Let's take the text messages and Dodo will join us after that. Then we have John Mahama, special prosecutor. Okay, so let's start with you, Fatih.
Yeah, this is coming from Akisindi Baba Taylor. He said, I'm loving Baumia's song. Thanks to you, Paul, and your crew. And this coming from the same Akisindi Baba Taylor. He says, Mr. Paul, actually, I like Alan as a party person, but his statement after losing elections is not helping the party. Alan shouldn't be a bad loser. I'm disappointed in this post-election statement released by Alan. Coming from Godfred Barton, he says, the race will be tough now that Alan has backed off. Alan and the other candidates may throw in their support for Kennedy or Bawumia. This is coming from Enzima Boy, and he says, must Alan resign or withdraw anytime things go in his favor? Doesn't go in his favor. He has disappointed his supporters. Coming from Mahami Adams, he says, Dr. Bawumia is the direction. The party has spoken. Our non-para and most interventionist vice president and the incoming president, Chief Alan, welcome to DMB team. We are breaking the 8 with you, Alan. Coming from Lily Rose, Lily says Alan should have taken the advice that Osei Chairman Sabonsu and Nana Akomia gave him, but it's too late now because he sees his smoothness level. And lastly, coming from Nana, he says Alan is a great person but not a great leader. He doesn't have the strength to face storm. He's always flimsy excuses to run away from the storm. And so that's what you have for us.
So it's interesting to note that some of the viewers on Facebook have been having conversations between themselves. So here is a conversation between Papa Kwesi Abaka and Citizen Sambian on Paul's comparison of Boachie Jaco's withdrawal from the NPP flag bearership race to Alan Kyerematen's withdrawal. Now, this is what Papa Kwesi Abaka says. He says Boachie Jaco also complained about the process to break the tie and others reasons he stepped down. So he also had his concerns, Paul. Citizen Sambian replies and says, he, referring to Boachie Jaco, complained on matters of law and not Reagan. He accepted the result of the superdelegate elections and was happy to go in for a runoff. But the NPP National Executive Council thought it wise to reduce the electoral college to only them to break the tie. He decided against the NEC decision and resigned not based on the superdelegate elections to get the difference right. Now, this is a long message for Alan Kyerematen from Abubakar Yakubu. He says he is the communications officer of the Sunyani East constituency of the NPP. He says, what a shambolic statement from an astute politician such as Honorable Alan Kojo Kyerematen. It is utterly unfortunate that Honorable Alan would attack the party in the manner he did whilst withdrawing from the contest? What at all does he seek to achieve? The processes have been transparent, clean, and fair, but you simply failed woefully to secure even the second position as thought by many because you didn't give or have a good message. In fact, you failed to get your message across to the delegates since you had none. You unleashed your entire machinery only to attack everyone rather than selling your message if you had any. Did you have to attack the party with this fabricated modus operandi even though they were factually inaccurate? And lastly, he says the November 4th delegates are watching keenly and would make a decisive and definite decision that would destroy every bit of love they had for you for attempting to wrongfully crucify the party you were seeking to leave. And lastly, we'll take this message from Augustine Osare Donko. He says, Mr. Alan challenged Nanado in all the 3 internal elections before which Nanado became the president in 2012. Even in 2014, when Nana won over 80% in the special delegates election, we should advise that he should let Nana go. He still went ahead and lost heavily. Those blaming others for his failure should look within and stop blaming innocent people. Over to you, Angelo.
Thank you, Annette. So Dash Thingun says, Ken versus Baumia, I can't wait to see the results. And Kaneshi Susu Collector says, it's going to be a showdown and nothing else. And Evans Ejipo says, yes, that's quite interesting. Now, Philip Darko says, this is a special choir just to mock Alan. How can he be included in the likes of President J. Akufo Addo and Akufo Addo? Apostle Paul, this your choir is super awesome. Far above, Aram says, I really respect Kwabena Ajiman. I think you mean to say Ajipong. Moving on, Solomon Kofi Boaji says, the signal is strong. And Alex Berg says, Alan saw the light and chickened out. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Alex. Moving on, Inaki Albert says, Ken 100% is winning. Kadeshi Suzu Collector agrees with him saying, easy cry. And Prophet Kwame Essien, it was a prophet. He says, it is true. I dreamt about it and my dream never fails. He goes into detail saying, 4 days ago, I had a dream where Kennedy Ajipong emerged victorious in the November 4 election, and one of the other candidates celebrated with him. Lincoln Abraham Utukbo says, great work, Paul, but be moderate because it's an in-house affair. And Gabriel Ebo says, it's time for the showdown. And lastly, Malka says, this is a battle song, referring to the choir, saying that the song they sang is a battle song. Back to you, Paul.
Okay, we have to take a break now, and then when we come back, we will. Too many text messages coming, too many people trying to reach me, and I'm sure some of our people in the studio now. So we take a short commercial break. The first one, we should have taken it earlier, but because we were on the highway. After the break, John Dramani Mahama, the former president of Ghana, is speaking to NDC lawyers and urging them to join the bench. But what is the spirit within which he does that? And then special prosecutor, if we can't deal with it, we'll deal with it on Thursday. We've gone very, very far into our time on one subject, the first subject that we dealt with today. We already dropped the cool subject, so Bello is not happy that he's not going to speak today, and I'm sure you are not happy that you're not going to see him, but you will see him on Thursday. Okay, a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with the program. This is Good Evening Ghana and it's live.
ECG is now cashless. My studio lights are always on. I never run out of power. With the ECG Power app, I'm able to report an issue, check my credit, buy power, all in real time whenever I need to. I don't worry if ECG vendors are closed. In the comfort of wherever I may be, I still keep my lights on thanks to the ECG Power app. You can simply use mobile money wallets, Visa or MasterCard. It does not attract e-levy. With the ECG Power app, you're totally covered. To download, go to the App Store or the Google Play Store. You don't have a smartphone? Don't worry. No internet? Don't worry. No data? Do not worry. Just dial *226#. This is what I call convenience in your hands. ECG Power app. A yes simple pa.
JA Plant Food Ghana Limited has introduced the all-new Jetto X70 Plus to the market. Jetto X70 Plus is a modern, spacious family SUV with a stylish design, advanced technology, and outstanding quality that promises you luxury with affordability. Jetto X70 Plus comes with an exceptional engine warranty of 4 years or 100,000 kilometers, giving you the ultimate peace of mind for years to come. And our dedicated service center at JA Plant Food offers you a wide range of car services and world-class customer support. Be exclusive and outstanding. Get yourself the all-new Jetto X70 Plus. Get in touch with JA Plant Food Ghana Limited on 020-0000-831 or info@japlantfoodgh.com. Visit japlantfoodgh.com for more information.
My name is John, and this is my long-time crush, my cookie dipped in strawberry yogurt. On this scorching hot afternoon on our way back from a long job hunt, we met this good Samaritan who offered us help.
6 weeks later,
a special wedding reception for our bride and groom.
And there she is, my cookie, dipped in someone else's yogurt.
Who holds the moolah, calls the shots, play game by games, the easiest lottery to play and win. Big phone numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times daily to become one of our daily lucky winners. Dial *946# to play now, or you can also play online at www.gamepackgames.com. Game Park is regulated by the National Lottery Authority.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you and cover the makers in
The pneumatological aberration of the Lord revealed unto me this night, that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. Up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafu Bwachi Hospital Junction. Takwadi. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program
from 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model, securing your safety, creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Today we had great stories, but we had the police story. Do you remember that, viewers? We put up a flyer and said that COP George Alex Mensah versus COP Dampare, the Inspector General of Police. Is it political police or police political? We have a full story on that. It will come to you in the next edition of our show. It's 20 minutes at the top of the hour at 11. We don't want to keep you waiting too much tonight. We'll be wrapping up on the show. But this week and next week are very significant for the Ghana Bar Association. The OSP is doing all sorts of things. The questions we'll be asking the OSP, if I was on the OSP, we'll be asking. The questions we'll be asking on Thursday, we're asking questions of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, questions of the Minister for Finance and Economic Planning, the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, questions of the Chief of Staff, Madam Frema Opare, and questions of the Learned Attorney General and Minister of Justice, the Honorable Godfrey Ebo-Adame. We are asking them, where does the Office of the Special Prosecutor work? Because Martin Amidu complained, and I had gone to visit Martin Amidu in his office in Laboni. He had complained that he didn't have office space, but he had said that Ken Ofori-Atta had organized an office for them. That office is now ready. More than nearly 100 lawyers or more have been recruited by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. If what we are hearing is true and is anything to go by, then the Chief of Staff, the Minister for Finance, and the Attorney General have questions to answer to the general public. Why is our taxpayers' money keeping the Office of the Special Prosecutor in Pretoria with Ghanaian police at the Ghanaian taxpayers' expense? He lives in China to do his Office of the Special Prosecutor work in Ghana. He's in London 2 months, 4 months. That's where he works with Ghana police. He travels with them to put his office there because he's afraid that somebody's going to chase him. Where are the results that he's churning out? Where are the results that the Office of the Prosecutor is churning out? The Charles Edu Boahen report, after so much money is being spent on the Charles Edu Boahen process, money and time having been spent on the Charles Edu Boahen process, the Honorable Kisia Japin has not brought out any report, but he is reported to be living in China, in Pretoria, and other places, doing the Office of the Special Prosecutor work abroad at the expense of the taxpayer. Civil society, do you know about that? Civil society, do you know that the Special Prosecutor lives abroad to do his work? Franklin Kujo, my darling friend, do you know that Special Prosecutor is using taxpayers' money and living abroad to do the work in Ghana? He's in New York with Ghanaian policemen. They are following him in New York because he's doing his work. Is that true? Is it untrue? We'll deal with it on Thursday. Franklin Kujo, please, I'll call you tomorrow about this, because civil society must be aware of this. And if they are, what is happening? Attorney General, what is happening? Finance Minister, what is happening? President Akufo-Addo, does your Special Prosecutor live abroad? Well, 17 minutes to the top of the hour. We couldn't have completed this story. I don't understand what you're saying. Okay, we couldn't have completed this story without speaking to Dodu, the visually impaired. I called him this evening. I said, Dodu, have you heard what has happened? He said, oh, Nasalanch. I said, oh! I said, okay, let's meet in the studio and discuss it. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. The name, the way you mention it is like that. Diodu.
Diodu.
My own is the Achim own, a Siakwa own.
Which is Diodu?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're from a Siakwa?
Yeah, I'm from a proud Siakwa boy. You know, I share the same name with Cameron Diodu, who also come from a Siakwa.
I see. Okay. How did you receive this Kyerematen statement?
Okay, first of all, let me wish Mr. Fred Pariansa a happy birthday. I think today is his birthday. The former MP for Sum, let me wish him a great happy birthday, and may the Lord be with him. May the light of the Lord shine on him. And I think when I was not that shocked, because the last time I heard anything about Alan withdrawing or resignation was also a Tuesday, which was 15th April 2008. And today being a Tuesday, I think it has some significance. I don't know how you take it. So I was not that shocked, but I think the complaints that he's making, I think these were issues that could be solved. I don't know how he channeled his grievances and it was not solved. I think these are not issues that should have caused his resignation or his withdrawal. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I think this should not be these issues should not be an issue to cause his withdrawal from the race.
Well, but we know that his Northeast representative was badly beaten. We know that. That's true.
Yes, that's true. That's a fact.
Yes, but is that not the basis why he will be concerned?
But I think that is that one is the only major issue. The rest of them are minor because he made mention of the Special Delegate Congress being strategically and tactically schemed in favor of one candidate, which I vehemently disagree with him because even in 2014, where there was no so-called establishment candidate, constituency chairman, regional chairman were declaring their support for one candidate. They went for the election. The Special Delegate Congress, we all saw what happened. But he still contested the main Congress. So I don't know whether, maybe, I believe he has done his research and he has seen that maybe the same thing is going to happen in November. And then he also look at maybe the Asenov incident. And maybe that might have caused his decision to...
What's the Asenov incident?
Where he was speaking and all of a sudden the vice president arrived and his microphone was taken away from him or something like that.
Okay, so what do you think is going to happen now to Alan Kyerematen? He's indicated that he's going to broadcast to determine... somebody sent me a text right now and let me just read it. This is one of the guys who live in America. I said, Paul, watch this space. I think that Alan Kyerematen may become John Mahama's running mate. Oh, that's far-fetched. But somebody in America is sending me this. He lives in Chicago. He said, watch this space. I think Alan Kyerematen may be preparing to be John Mahama's running mate. Or you say a lie. That's what he says. Alan has said that his future is going to be announced later this week. What are some of the things that you can guess would be the future that he's going to announce?
Okay, either he will make an alliance with one of the candidates or... Because I don't think if he decides to go out of the party and form his own party, or if he decides to even contest independent, I think it will not help him. Because if he contests as an independent candidate, well, he may succeed in maybe distracting the party or making the party go opposition after the 2024 election. But that will also make him a political dinosaur.
Well, so if he runs as an independent candidate, you think he can pick 5% of the vote, 3%, 2%?
Yeah, that one you can't downplay that because we have a history. And you know, Mr. Paul, the UP tradition has always stand in division when it comes to election. In 1969, there was a division where Joe appeared. People seem to forget that because at that time, Professor Buzia won the election. Nobody seems to talk about that one. There was a division. Joe Appiah went on his own.
But he lost miserably.
Yeah, he lost
miserably.
was
overwhelming.
And even 2000 where President Kufuor won, there was an Ashanti candidate.
Oh, there was Reku Brobe.
But there was Reku Brobe from went to UGM.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
I've not thought about that.
Yes.
Reku Brobe, a member of the MPP.
Yeah. So sometimes when I hear people talking about
Reku Brobe didn't get anything. The United Ghana movement.
He didn't get anything, yeah.
But he said something that was significant. He said his party motto was growing people for Ghana's development. It was very significant. But Reku Brobe had broken away from the MPP in 2000 to fight on his own.
Yeah.
And he didn't win, but he came back to join the government.
Yeah, he came back. So I think the Mr. Alan Kyerematen, I believe, I don't know what he's going to say in the near future, but if he has decided to go out of the party, to go on his way to form an...
But he hasn't resigned from the party, by the way.
Yeah.
He hasn't resigned from the party. He has withdrawn from the race.
From the race, but he's saying
so maybe he may be announcing his resignation from the party. Do you think so?
I don't think so. I don't expect him to do that because it will not help him.
Okay, let's come back to the race because we're running out of time. We have only 10 minutes before 11 o'clock. Let's come back to the race.
Yeah.
What's going to happen now?
So now,
what are going to be the ramifications of Alan leaving there? So we're going to have 4 candidates on the ballot.
Yeah, we are going
balloting occurs tomorrow.
Yeah, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Honorable Kennedy Kwame Akompre Japan, Dr. Osu Efiri Akoto, and Mr. Francis Adenimo. And I think it will be a straight contest between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Honorable Kennedy Japan. And as to who Alan supporters decide to support, I think it will not make any much significant in the upcoming November Congress.
Alan supporters will not support Dr. Bawumia. His statement says that the thing was skewed in favor of one candidate. We're all guessing that he's talking about Dr. Bawumia.
Yeah, I think maybe his front run supporters might not support Bawumia, but for those at the grassroots, you can't predict. Because if you look at Alan and Honorable Kennedy Japan, until recently, Ken has not been in agreement with Alan because since 2007, Ken has been supporting Nana against Alan.
But Ken was running because he didn't want Alan to be the heir apparent.
Yes.
And he doesn't also want Bawumia to win. Ken was running because he disagrees with the heir apparent situation of Alan Kyerematen. That's fundamentally why he's running. He thinks that Ndru Obia, so this party is not for anyone, he'll throw his hat in. Do you think that the Alan camp had been concerned or shaken by the performance of Ken, defeating them to 3rd position?
That one I think is true because looking at where Alan has come from since 2007, 22nd December, then 2010, 2014, then Honorable Ken come from nowhere, then he get 132 and Alan got 95. I think it was a bit concerned, and I believe there was a very big shake in that camp, and they have done something, they have done their own research and see that it might not gone well for them in the upcoming November election. That is why I think he has withdrawn from the competition.
The other day, you criticized Alan's communication team, both on your interview with Joy FM and your interview here. You criticized.
I think Kofi TV rather.
Oh, was it Kofi TV?
Yeah.
Now on Joy FM too, you did, didn't you?
Maybe they pick it from.
They must have picked from Kofi TV. Okay.
Yeah.
And you criticized here as well.
Yeah.
Do you blame the communication team for this? Yabuabi Samoa has been speaking this evening again. Have you heard him?
Yes, I've heard him on Joy FM.
What did he say?
I think he was still doing what I advised him not to do.
What did he do?
Oh, he was still blaming the party. He was still saying those things that I always don't want him to say it. But I think Mr. Paul, Alan communication didn't help him, and his advisors also didn't help him because they could not channel his message to the grassroots or to the party wall. They were just saying a drum, but they could not channel the real message that Alan was carrying. And Alan too has not been able to carve a constituency in the party for himself because since 2007, the people that he was working with, how can Alan be in a contest and somebody like Dr. Richard and might not support him?
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Or John Kuma.
Yes.
Or Chema to me.
Or even I don't know whether this man, I've forgotten his name. Michael Ampon, I don't know whether he's still.
Michael Ampon, sticker, the MP for Shaiso.
Yes, Honorable Stephen. They are all not supporting him. Because those guys were the people who started Channel Alan idea. Now, the 2007 group, the only person I can talk about left is the Emprieso MP, Honorable OPK.
And Nana Hinin too?
Yes. Nana at that time was the General Secretary, but I think he has also been with him for a longer period of time.
So, this is very interesting. When you say Alan didn't carve, that's the final part. When you say Alan didn't carve a constituency for himself, what does it mean?
Because in 2007, when he has lost this in the Congress, the day he declared he has resigned from the party, then he came back. After the 2008 election, it seems to me that he was not even interested in Ghana politics again. When he went to the WTO, after he has lost the 2010, he went to the WTO, then he came back. 2012, we didn't see much of him. And the strategy Nana used was that when they were not seeing much of him, Nana Addo also took his time to take some of the people from Alan, people that he can convince, to come to their side. So in 2007, Kyerematen, to me, when he was a constituency chairman, he was an Alan fan. By 2014, people like Kyerematen, to me, even the former Ashanti Regional Chairman, Honorable Yao Mankwa, all those people have neglected Alan.
So is it that he's not able to? What is it? Is it that
he has not been?
He's attractive, definitely. He's attractive as a politician.
Yeah.
But he's not able to keep the people.
Yeah, he's not able to keep the people, and he's not able to organize his base.
Organize his base.
Yeah.
But you say he doesn't have any base in the party.
Because he has not been able to do that.
But why is he so attractive? Why was he so attractive in 2007? Because he's still attractive.
Because at that time he was the establishment candidate.
Well, but establishment candidate must do beyond just the establishment to win. Alan didn't win, we know that. Is that why he didn't win?
No, because he was an establishment candidate, but he was fighting with someone who has been there for the party, someone who has carved a constituency for himself, someone even when his own family members deserted the tradition and go their way, he decided not to support, he decided to stay neutral. So he has been able to cut people from both PFP side and the UNC side.
But Alan only has PFP?
Alan only have
a
cross section of the PFP.
Richard Anane doesn't get more PFP than Richard Anane, but he's supporting Bawumia now.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, he's supporting Bawumia now. Because
what will be the reason why Richard Anane will not back Alan? I mean, also Akoto is also very PFP.
Yeah, but that one.
But he's on his own now. He's not supporting Alan.
For Dr. Anane on, I can discuss it with you secretly, but not publicly.
Oh, you have the reason?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like to hear that. Okay, let's take a text messages and I'll go to Ibrahim. The first question I'll be asking Ibrahim is that was it an offside Garnacho in the 88th minute?
Let me do it 1 second. I'm an Arsenal fan.
Yes.
I'm a strong Arsenal fan.
Very good.
I think that goal. I have an app that read for me whether the goal is offside. I think per my app that goal is an offside.
You already said you're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
Well, there was also something else, the pulling down of the Manchester United defender before Declan Rice scored.
Yeah. I think the VAR, the VR, the English referees must do something about it because it seems it is creating a lot of controversy in the English Premier League because today it's happening to Manchester United. Tomorrow it might be Arsenal. So I think the VAR is either they stop using it or they do something more about it. They do more training about it because it is creating a lot of controversy.
So you agree that VR won the game for Arsenal?
We did well. We play our game and we won.
English Premier League is always fantastic. And today I was at a meeting, one of the Manchester United older generation. He was so angry. And the other day, Ibrahim, I'll tell you a story about what my daughter said about the Onana and his performance in the team. Let me come to you, Fatih, now with the text messages, the final round of it.
Okay, this is coming from AJ Richard, and he says, a good decision. Alan should have accepted the way he proposed running mate earlier. Coming from Isaac Gamper, he says, this is a very good decision from Alan. And this coming from Dash Stinkon, he says, another question. Since Alan John Kyerematen has withdrawn from the context, would that give another person chance to make up the 5 contestants needed? Coming from Nuhu Alfan, he says, a great VIP is one who is not only fully committed to supporting the president's agenda and vision, but also possesses the skills, experience, and leadership abilities to step up and lead the country in times of crisis and transition. That's the man, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Coming from Mahami Adams, he says, Dr. Bawumia is the direction the party has spoken. We welcome all supporters of Chief Alan to DMB camp. Coming from Kaneshi, the Sisu collector, he says, Mahama is already preparing to lose 2024 election and disturb Ghana with court issues. He's already worried about the Judges Act's future petition court case. Coming from Alex Nyak, he says, Paul, respectively, Alan has disappointed his faithfuls. And lastly, coming from TJ Baba, he says, Chief Alan should have resigned without repeating the same mistakes he made in 2007. Both Bawumia won convincingly in all the 17 polling stations. He shouldn't be a bad loser. Antoinette.
Okay, so here is yet another viewer challenging what Paul said about Honorable Kennedy Japan contesting because of Alan. He said, Apostle Paul, this is Philip Dako, by the way, he said, Apostle Paul, Honorable Kennedy Japan did not contest because of Alan, but he didn't want NPP to go into opposition. There is nothing that actually impressed Ghanaians now, looking at the state of the country now, so a new phase could break the 8. I believe that is the motivation for Honorable Kennedy Japan coming forward to salvage the country and the NPP going into opposition. And he asked a hashtag, he says, Ken for President 2024. Thomas Ayamfu says, Alan has proven over and over again that he is not a man of steel. If he were president during the doomsday COVID-19 era or this hard economic times, would he have resigned as president as well in the face of intense pressure from Ghanaians? His actions marks of an entitlement mentality. Bright Boaje Iyadom says, this game of politics is for people who actually understand it to the core, not people who just want to play it. Let me quote Professor Kofi Abrifabuzia when he addressed students of the University of Ghana when they asked him about the qualifications one needs to have before doing politics. And I quote, he said, there is no qualification in the game of politics. In politics, the monster called opinion will be master. It will say all manner of things against you, call you names, thief, miser. Things you did not do, it will say you have done. Things you haven't done, it will say you haven't done it. In politics, you must be prepared to be wounded. You must have a big stomach to accommodate nonsense. Akwesi Edu says, this is an indictment on Alan himself. You run a porous campaign, and when you lose, you complain that you're being cheated. The man knows he will lose miserably, which is why he is running away. Alexander Safer thinks that Alan John Kojo Kyerematen is going to throw his support for Ken, and he is going to become a running mate for Ken. And lastly, Shigri Zone says no individual is bigger than the NPP, which is something that Chief Alan is failing to understand. Well, we'll leave to see what his next steps are. Angelo?
Right. Nana Kwame Champung says Kennedy all the way. Prince Nat says, good evening, Sir Paul. Kindly extend my greetings to Dr. KB Mahama, who is the next parliamentary candidate for the good people in the Wale Wale constituency. Moving on, Prophet Kwame Essen says, Kennedy will be president and will surprise thousands. Now, Idris Abdullahi says, managing a country is not a sole proprietorship. Showdown man for president indeed. I think he's echoing some of the issues around Kennedy being a businessman more than he is a politician. Junior Akbar says, strong signal, join us for victory. And Kaneshi Susu Collector responds to that saying, establishment candidates don't go far. Gustav Peter says, the analysis is deep. Thank you very much, Gustav. We put a lot of effort into it. And then Hassan Hussein says, I like the blind historian. Back to you, Paul.
Okay, so I got some text messages. Somebody says that, hello, Paul. Alan Kyerematen has not, as the blind historian is saying, Alan Kyerematen has not built his own base because he was merely relying on President Kufuor's base. And that doesn't work in politics. Once you inherit a base, you have to nurture it, you have to culture it, you have to water it, and you have to take the weeds out of it and bring more flowers into it. Okay, that's very poetic. Seems very interesting. All right, 2 minutes to the top of that 11. Let's do some 2 minutes with Ibrahim Zabrila on the touchscreen. You said we cannot have Jordan Jr. from London.
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's it. That's the offside. Yeah, I spoke to Kwabena Yeboah, the sports reporter, the sports journalist, famous sports journalist today, and he said to me that not particularly interested in either Manchester United or Arsenal, but he's looking at it and saying that he thinks the offside rule should be the whole body of the player should be offside.
Yes, FIFA
not
has
his finger, his hair, his ear, his offside.
Coming into this season, FIFA has actually changed the offside rule that now the whole body of the player, but not all the leagues have considered it yet. So some leagues have started using that rule. But it's not obligatory on every league to use it.
What was this guy doing? Was he deliberately
Yes, he was deliberately trying to make him offside. And it's allowed. It's allowed. He was deliberately
instead of attacking him and taking the ball from him, he's deliberately making him offside.
Yes, and it's allowed. It's allowed for him. It's allowed. That's part of the game too. So that's why other teams play with setting offside. That's why other teams play the game. Their strategy is to set offside for you.
Yeah, but that's with the whole body, not this kind of thing he's doing.
He realized that he was making him onside. So he had to come out and balance his body a bit to make him offside. And so
the other point I was making to Kwabena Yeboah is that this is the center circle. And between here and the goal, there's a lot of work that has to be done. Why is Arsenal refusing to do the work and trying to create an offside? They should tackle him and take the ball from him. It's a long distance to the goal.
That's the offside rule.
Garnacho held the ball. Who's passing? Is it Casemiro?
That's Casemiro.
Wow.
Casemiro.
I thought United had a good turnout. In patches of the game where they did well, they looked like real football
You know, the
team.
interesting thing about this VAR thing with United being unhappy with the VAR is that just before this action, Arsenal also had a penalty which was overturned by VAR.
Oh, a penalty was awarded?
Yes, to Arsenal.
Okay.
And VAR overturned it.
But what was the concern of football lovers? Was it a penalty?
If you watch, when you watch the replay, it looked like there was no touch. So there was no
Yeah, but there was no touch.
But this also a VAR, this offside is automatic. It's
so the referee actually allowed the goal and then VAR called him?
Yes, and VAR called.
Also, Anthony Taylor gave the goal.
He allowed the goal.
So that was going to be a goal?
There was going to be a goal. Until VAR, normally when you allow the goal, then the offside, they have a mechanism that checks for offside. So after the goal is allowed, then the mechanism will now draw the lines to check for the offside.
Why did Anthony Taylor succumb himself to the rule? Because we've heard that this season, the rule is that the referee must decide whether I want to come and watch the VAR or not.
No, when it's offside, you don't have to watch. No, the mechanism will determine whether it's offside or not. When it's offside, the referee does not have to go and watch the screen. They only watch the screen when it's a penalty decision or a red card decision. But when it's offside decision, it will automatically determine whether it's offside.
Second goal by Declan Rice, great goal it was, no doubt about that. Yes. But there was a foul. What about that?
That's also contentious because others also say it's not a foul. And really, that's when we really watch the referee's decision because the law is that, is it a clear and obvious error from the referee? If the people in the VAR thing is not a clear and obvious error, then they are not going to overturn the on-field decision. The decision on the field that was taken by the referee must be clear and obvious. Like in the penalty situation where there was no touch, so it looked like a clear and obvious error, then they will allow him to go and review it. But if they think it's not a clear and obvious error and it's contentious, then they will allow the on-field decision. So that's really the law with it. And you know one thing interesting to Man U's first game, in their first game against Watford at all.
There was a penalty decision that was not given.
And when Ten Hag against Watford.
Wolves. Yes, thank you very much.
And when Ten Hag was asked about that offside, he said since the VAR didn't take it, they can't say anything about it. So he agreed with VAR then, but now he's disagreeing with VAR.
Who was the better team on the day?
I think Arsenal were better than Man U on the day.
In terms of
Arsenal
the possession?
The stepped of possession in terms of creating chances and the intensity.
Who had quality players? Who were the best players on the field that day? Because I looked at the score and I noticed that Eriksen and Casemiro had been scored very high by the bookmakers in terms of the performance on the day. And 3 or 4 United players have scored 5 over 10. And
Arsenal generally, if you look at all their players, had very good players on that day. On that day, in the exception of probably Kai Havertz, who didn't have a good day, he's still warming himself up to Arsenal. You look at the rest of the players, they all had a very good game.
Saka had a good game.
Nketiah, yes, although Dalot did a very good work on him.
Yeah, he did a very good. I think Saka had a quiet day.
Good work on him.
But he had a straight shot, which he didn't quite kick well.
Yes.
Onana was able to block it. But that was a big chance. It was him and the goalkeeper, and he couldn't score.
Yes.
That would have taken it to 2-1, I believe.
Yes, Arsenal also had a big chance. Havertz also had a big chance that he missed. So as for the chances,
yeah, but the new United striker also had a big chance that he missed. There are pictures of Garnacho holding his shirt and sort of asking him, why did you miss the chance? It was empty net and he didn't put it in. That would also have made it.
So as for the chances, you have to take them when they come.
So all is set for the return leg in Old Trafford in January. That's going to be a big deal.
So the story really is that Erik Ten Hag is really not doing well with his away games. And it's very worrying.
Mm-hmm.
In his away games, he's lost 13, lost 42 points away and got only 1 point away. And this quite different from what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was good away, but
doing badly at home.
And Ten Hag comes and he's strong home because last season Man U lost only once at home, I think against Liverpool, and won all their home games.
And even beat Manchester City
at home. Yes, at home. But away they didn't do well. If they were competitive and got a lot of points away, they could have been in contention to win the league because of the kind of points.
That's a mentality lacking.
Yes.
Because to win away games in the Premier League is about the mentality.
It's about mentality.
Yeah, you have to ignore everything you are seeing.
Yes.
And
that's what Man City has over everyone.
They do.
That's what Man City has.
Even them, last season, you remember they went to Forest and they drew. Could consider the last minute goal against Forest. Away games are very difficult in the Premier League.
They are very difficult.
Very, very difficult.
And getting points from away really is the defining moment for who wins the Premier League.
Newcastle has been beaten 4-1 by Brighton.
Brighton have a very, very good team that a lot of people must watch
out. And guess where Brighton are going next? Old Trafford.
Yes, they have a very good team and they have a very good recruitment team who always know how to bring out talent. You don't know where they bring them from. They always get the talent every year. This season, they have a player who was at Norgeland. He's an Ivorian, but he's at Norgeland. He was at Norgeland, and he played for Right to Dream. He was scouted by Right to Dream in Ghana. He's an Ivorian. And the same Right to Dream scouted Kudus. They scouted Kamal Din Suleimana. They scouted our player who is now in Lyon, Enes Niama, who is now in Lyon. So Right to Dream are doing a very good work in Ghana. And they send their players to Norgeland and then to Europe. So Brighton have that player now with Ingra. He's the new talent that they brought up this season, and everyone is looking up to.
How is Caicedo doing in Chelsea, by the way?
Not too well so far. He's not had a very good turnout so far. I think it's because of the expectation and the pressure that was put and the transfer business, the kind of a lot of noise in his transfer. So a lot of people expected a lot from him. But so far, and it's not only Caicedo, the whole team, Chelsea team, has still not picked form so far. They are controlling games, but their problem has always been goal scoring.
I saw their striker. What's his name? Then the good
Nicolas Jackson.
Yeah, Nicolas Jackson has the movement. He has the
but
vision.
his finishing.
But his finishing is abysmal.
And it's the whole team. The whole team have
within the 6-yard box. He put it over the bar.
The whole team have a terrible finishing. Since about 2 seasons now, they always play very well, but when they get to the ball, scoring becomes a problem for Chelsea, and that has been their problem that they have been trying.
Mohamed Kudus in his first turnout for West Ham United. How did you see it?
Oh, he had about less than 10 minutes of action, and so you can't really judge him based on that.
Is he going to walk into the first squad, the West Ham 11?
I expect him to. Yeah, with the kind of way he plays. The only thing is that West Ham are a team who, when they are playing against the big sides, like to stay back and defend. And that might probably limit Kudus because he likes a team who play attacking football a lot. So that might probably limit him. But I expect him, if you look at the kind of, I think he's going to compete with Paqueta for position in the team. And at the moment, Paqueta is doing very well. But let's see whether he'll be able to outshine him. Let's see.
Okay, Black Stars.
Yes, so the Black Stars this Thursday will be in action. A very crucial match. A lose in that game could mean that will not be in the AFCON in January.
Who are we playing?
We are playing Central African Republic.
In Kumasi?
Yes, in Kumasi.
Oh, we'll be there. The
last time we lost,
not simple like that.
Yes, but the last time we lost in Kumasi was in 2000 against South Africa.
But if we draw, are we good?
Yeah, if we draw, we are good.
Okay, so we need to avoid defeat on Thursday.
Yes, we need to avoid defeat.
Against Central African Republic.
Central African
We
Republic.
have to beat them 4.
But the performance recently have been, and you know one thing, although we are the home team, the away team arrived in Ghana before the home team started pitching camp. Central African Republic arrived in Saturday. They arrived in Ghana on Saturday, and the Black Stars players started arriving on Monday. But Central African Republic had the whole complement of their team arrive on Saturday. They started training.
Maybe because they all play
Central African Republic. Yes, and they moved to Kumasi yesterday, even before the Black Stars arrived in Kumasi today. The Black Stars arrived.
So who are in the Black Stars team? No Partey?
No Partey.
No Kudus?
That's the only surprise. Kudus is there. That's the only surprising exclusion. Thomas Partey.
But he's injured, so that makes sense.
Yes, he's injured. But normally, the normal players, Inaki Williams is back after missing the last call-up due to injury.
Jordan Ayew is in
there. Jordan Ayew is in the Enes Niama, Antoine Semenyo, Jonathan Sowa. So
you were going
Barbara Man is also back.
Tickets. How are you going to get tickets?
Barbara Man is also back.
So Barbara Man is back in the left field. Is Gideon Mensah in there?
Gideon is also in.
Do we have the Brighton guy in there?
No, Lamptey. He just came back from injury.
Okay.
He just came back from injury and featured
Tariq Lamptey.
Tariq Lamptey. And your player has got an England call-up, so Ghana has missed up.
I'm not even sure why he's making that decision because World Cup, Harry Kane, Phil Foden,
so he
Jack Grealish, nobody's going to feel
He was asked when he went to the camp, and he said it was natural for him because he had played in the junior national teams of England, so he saw it as a natural progression to the Three Lions. That's why he didn't accept Black Stars and accepted the Three Lions. So
he didn't accept the Black Stars.
No, he didn't accept. We tried severally, but he always bided his time and waited for England to call him.
Yeah, but there's Jack Grealish, there's Phil Foden, there's Harry Kane.
Yes, he has to compete.
It's a deadly England striking force.
It's very competitive.
Extremely competitive.
Yes.
Anyway.
So this is how to get tickets for the game. You know now, since the Ghana-Nigeria game, now we don't sell tickets at the gate again.
Mm-hmm.
You only have to take your phone there, you dial *711#, and then you follow the process, and then that's how you can buy your tickets.
So if it's full, it will tell you it's full?
Yes, it is full. It will tell you it is full. So you have to, if you want the tickets now, you have to start now because normally on game day, that's when people rush on the network and normally the traffic
and
is
you
very
buy by
huge.
mobile money?
You buy by mobile money. So VIP 150.
What's the kickoff time on Thursday?
It's 4 p.m.
And ending?
Kumasi, 4 p.m. So it will end at 6.
6, okay.
6, yes. So we are expecting the Kumasi fans to come out because Kumasi has become a fortress for the Black Stars. The last time we lost a game was 23 years ago against South Africa in the Nations Cup in 2000, where we co-hosted with Nigeria. A goal from Nonvete.
Siabongo Nonvete.
Yes.
I remember that game.
I remember that game. The
guy is like 6'2". Siabongo Nonvete. The tournament that we co-hosted with Nigeria.
Yes. And we lost in the quarterfinals with them. That was the last time we lost a game at the Baba.
That was a good tournament, That was the tournament that had the final with Cameroon and Nigeria. 2-2. Cameroon took a 2-goal lead, and Austin JJ Okocha made it happen for Nigeria. But then Cameroon won on penalties, I think.
Yes. And Cameroon won. So *711# is the magic code if you want your tickets for the game on Thursday. And so we are asking the Kumasi fans to come out. We will also be there to give them regular updates, to give our viewers regular updates on social media about what's happening tomorrow. The Black Stars will hold their last training session tomorrow, and Central African Republic will also hold their last training session tomorrow.
By the time we come on air on
Thursday, we would have known the results of that game. And after that, the Black Stars also play a friendly game with Liberia.
On Saturday?
Yes, during the weekend. In Kumasi again.
Or they will remain in Kumasi for that?
Yes. We'll play a friendly game with them. Then after that, they'll just dismantle the expectation for the friendlies in October against USA and Mexico.
Let's take our short break now. We have a break, don't we? Okay, let's take the break. We take text messages, we'll bow out. Thursday, we continue with the rest of the stories. Good luck to the Black Stars when they play on Thursday, because by the time we come on Thursday, the Black Stars would have played their game. Good luck to the Black Stars. Okay, we do. So we're on social media only. Okay, let's take the text messages and then we can wrap it up. We're off social media.
We're on TV or social media.
Oh, we're on TV, so we can take the break.
We are closing.
Okay, all right. Let's take the break. Let's take the
Musa. And then he says, great analysis, Mr. Paul. Coming from Yadanaya, he says, Manchester United all the way. Coming from Mahmoud Tahir, he says, I disagree with Zibila's statement about the whole body. Please, Man U supporters should watch Chelsea versus Liverpool. Chelsea's goal was ruled outside in a similar manner. I think the law of karma is now catching man. The era where referees like Webb was cheating for them to win matches is over. Man U should learn to accept defeat, period. Antoinette.
Samuel Prekase says, good work done, Zebila, on the update on the Black Stars. And a few people are back to Alan. He says that Stinkon says, Alan John Kyerematen contesting as an independent candidate is a waste of money. He should just sit back and enjoy ministerial appointment when given. Apostle Paul, please don't deal with the OSP on Thursday. That's what we kept saying, that our people must have Ghana first. You have asked a good question, and I hope you get an answer from the powers therein. He asked a hashtag, he says, Ken for President 2024. Angelo.
Yadanaya says, Manchester United all the way, and I personally support his message with 5 bags of cement. Moving on, we have a message from the University of Ghana. This is from Dr. Johnny and Arthur. He says, Michael, kindly tell my friend Dr. Amache that I have a contract for him to compose some songs for my candidate, John Dramani Mahama, for the 2024 elections. Well, the good doctor has revealed his position. He continues, on the matter of Honorable Alan Kyerematen's withdrawal from the NPP presidential race, it is most unfortunate. However, I think it is important also not to sweep his concerns under the carpet. Has anyone been arrested in connection with the assault on his agent in the superdelegates? Paul, we all saw the pictures of the said agent with badly bruised eyes. Is it not worrying that no one has since been apprehended? Again, this is from the University of Ghana. Back to you, Paul.
Okay, we do have a celebration tonight, and I nearly forgot. Ronaldo reminded me. Call Eugene for me, and then bring in Dennis. But we have to, one of the ladies, Fatih, please come. You need to take out, okay, the camera is grabbing it. I need the box out. So you take the box, yeah. All the drums and everything has gone. Can you play some song? Eugene, come. So this is Eugene, he's my man, that's the camera. Eugene is my man. Now, Eugene, you have to tell them, you should have, give me the microphone. Is it working? Is it on? Eugene, you have to hold it and tell them. Now, this guy is my man. No, he's been my man for many years. I still need you to take everything out and let's have take the box out. Agent, help me. Let me take the mic. He did it. So he cooked the cake. He baked it. So let's. Okay, excellent. So let's this on the table now. So this cake is for Dennis. Dennis is our technical man. He called me and said, boss, it's my birthday. Oh. I said, no problem. Now, Eugene, okay, let's see Eugene again now. This is Eugene. Eugene is in the, those of you who go to Salisbury, Eugene is in that Salisbury corner there, and he's been making cakes for 10 years now, since I've known him. Then Eugene can make the cake and put the Liverpool on it, put Chelsea here, Manchester United and all that. Yesterday I called him and said, Eugene, we have another cake off our, one of our guys is doing another celebration. All the cakes that you've seen on Good Evening Ghana is made by Eugene. Eugene, tell us, what number can people get you on?
You can get me on 0243-730-274. I'm on Instagram, on Facebook, at Cake Talk GH.
Oh, you're modern like that. You're like young like that.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook. Okay.
Yes.
Please say the number again so they can get it.
0243-730-274.
Okay. Please call Maureen and let the ladies come and say happy birthday to you. Dennis, come and cut the cake. You're going to cut in the name of God the Father. You have to mention your wife's name, Dennis. What is it? You recently got married. What's your wife's name? What's your wife's name?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Eugene.
Her name is Loda Amwa.
Loda Amwa. Yeah, that's your beloved wife.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so is she watching?
She's watching.
Oh, beloved Loda Amwa, beloved wife of Eugene. That's Eugene, of Dennis. Thank you very much for keeping Dennis the way you keep him. Since he got married, he's put on more weight and all of that. Okay, so the ladies, you have to sing happy birthday for Dennis. Somebody should hold the microphone and Maureen, you're a lady, come and stand around him so that he can get the thing, you know, the feeling of, so take it and then. Me, if I sing, viewers will stop watching because my voice is not that good. Okay, so Dennis, deal with it. Happy birthday.
So we are starting. Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dennis. Happy birthday to you. Okay, yes.
Yeah, the Chinese version. Yeah. Do you have a Chinese version? Yeah. Okay, give her the microphone. Yeah. Is it the same tune?
Yes.
Okay.
So in Chinese, birthday. Okay, so we say Juni Shenri Kwaila. It means happy birthday to you. So we're going to be keep singing that. So Juni Shenri Kwaila, Juni Shenri Kwaila, Juni Shenri Kwaila, Juni Shenri Kwaila.
Hip hip hip.
Hooray. Okay, Dennis, please cut the cake. That's nice. Oh, there you go. Congratulations. I won't ask you how old you are now. Okay, so thank you. And for everyone, we have some food and drinks so we can take away. It's very late now, so those who want to violate the rules can eat. But those who don't want to violate the rules, Ibrahim Zebila and I will violate the rules, we'll eat. Okay, so there's some food and drinks, and let me get the Dodu to say good night for us. Dodu, what's your last word on this show?
Okay, my last word is that I think MPP should just unite and find a way of solving all issues.
Okay. All right. So we are done. Have we left something out? Production? Everything done? We postponed everything else for Thursday. Okay. So at this stage, after a long night, and thank you to all the young people. Thank you to Kweku Apriku, who is not here. He's in Kumasi, hoping that University of Ghana will win the moot court that is currently going on over there. If they do, they'll join us in the studio on Thursday. And I'm sure Maureen also is giving them moral support. Thank you, viewers, for watching. Good night.